Hey everyone, I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I love the Tolkien universe, world, whatever you want to call it. Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, all that. I haven't read the Silmarillion yet, but that's something I want to get around to as well. And I have a few of these books by David Day, or a couple of these books by David Day, and I really like the covers they have, and the inside I'll show you in a minute. The covers kind of feel soft and like embossed, I guess you could say. This picture, if you run your finger over it, it's kind of bumpy, I guess the word is. When your finger over the top like this, you can feel all the scales of the dragon. Snake, I guess it's a snake, I'm not sure. It looks like a snake, I think. And the text is like, this is gold, I don't know if you can see. Do that, you can see it shining. Looks like gold. I just thought I would read some bits from it, show you some of the pictures and things like that. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, obviously. I'll be here for hours, but you know, if something catches my eye, I'll just read it out and just flip through and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope the camera focuses. Here we have a map of Middle-earth and the Undying Lands. It's gorgeous. Undying Lands. And then you have Middle-earth over here. And Numenor. The Numenorians live. An Atlas of Tolkien. Excuse me. Now we have contents. Map of Middle-earth. Into Darkness, Morgoth, Map of Arda. So let's just flick through a little bit, see what we can. City Terran, Darkening, Valinor. Trees of Light. The Undying Land. Great lamps wrought destruction upon the land as they fell. The beginning of the world. When Arda was first created, the earth was a flat disk enclosed within spheres of air, light, and ether. These spheres were sealed within the invisible walls of the world and set in the infinite void. There was one vast supercontinent upon which the Valar, or powers of Arda, continued the shaping of the world. But one of the Valar revolted, and this led to the First War. In the conflict, the ideal symmetry of Arda was ruined, and the continent was broken apart. So I guess it was one whole thing at one point or another. Trees of Light, Undying Lands, Valinor. Melkor and Ungoliant looked with hatred upon the light of the Valar. Middle-earth. Melkor's hordes bred in the darkness of Autumno. I think that's how you say it. Probably. Ages of Darkness. Morgoth. Dun, dun, dun. The Valar Melkor became Morgoth, Lord of Darkness. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it to focus. It's a bit windy here as well, I'm sorry you can hear wind and stuff. Melkor was one of the greatest of the spirits who dwelt with Eru the One before the creation of Arda, yet he introduced discord to the music of the Ainur, and when he entered Arda he worked against the Valar, creating ruin and chaos. He expended so much of his spirit doing evil and dominating his armies that, unlike the other Valar, he had to take permanent fleshly form. When the Eldar came to Middle-earth and strove against him, they named him Morgoth, the Black Foe of the world. Quite menacing picture. Balrogs of Autumnal. Wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. Balrogs were the most feared servants of Melkor. Everyone remembers the Balrog of Khazad-dûm in the Lord of the Rings movie, the first one. The Balrog demons of might were the most terrible of the Maya spirits to become the servants of Melkor, the dark enemy. Huge and hulking Balrogs were massive man-like demons with streaming manes of fire and nostrils that breathed flame. They seemed to move with clouds of black shadows, and their limbs had the coiling power of serpents. The chief weapon of the Balrogs was the many-thonged whip of fire, although they were also known to use the mace, the axe and the flaming sword. In each of Melkor's battles, Balrogs were his foremost champions, and so, when the holocaust of the War of Wrath ended Melkor's reign forever, it largely ended the Balrogs as a race. It was said that some fled the last battle and buried themselves deep in the roots of the mountains, but after thousands of years nothing more was heard of these demons. However, during the Third Age of the Sun, the deep-delving dwarves of Moria released by accident an entombed demon. Once unleashed, the Balrog struck down 2 dwarf kings, then, gathering legions of orcs and trolls to his aid, drove the dwarves from Moria forever. His dominion remained uncontested for 2 centuries, until his duel with Gandalf the Grey on the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Just said about the movie. Ages of Stars. I hope it's focusing. I know it sometimes can go a bit funny. I'm sorry about that. I have to film on my phone. Genealogy of the races of elves. That's kind of interesting. Anya, Fair Elves, Tyrion, Teniquatil, I think this says. Mordor, Deep Elves, Elves. Oh, I see it starts from here and it goes that way. Wood Elves. Sylvanwood Elves, sorry. Greenwood, Nightwood. Lothlorien, East Lorien, Woodlands of East. Avalon. That's interesting. The Awakening of the Dwarves. The dwarves explored the wondrous caves beneath the mountains. In a great hall under the mountains of Middle-earth, Aule, I think you can correct me if anyone knows how to pronounce that, the smith of the Valar fashioned the 7 fathers of the dwarves during the Ages of Darkness. Iluvatar was aware of Aul's presumptuous deed and would not permit that this race should come forth before his chosen children. Yet he judged that Aule acted without malice. Therefore he sanctified the dwarves and bade Aule set them to sleep for many ages. In the years that followed the awakening of the elves, the 7 fathers of the dwarves stirred, and the stone chamber was broken open. They arose and were filled with awe. Each of the 7 fathers made a great mansion under the mountains of Middle-earth, but the elven histories of these early years speak only of 3. Those were Belegost and Novgorod in the Blue Mountains, and Khazad-dûm in the Misty Mountains. The Ents marched in wrath upon Isengard. They look very interesting on here, different from how they were portrayed in the movie. I mean, obviously, but it's interesting to see different artistic portrayals. The breeding of the orcs. kingdoms in the First Age. Beleriand. But elves, I think. The halls of men are filled with wonders. That's a beautiful picture. Stunning. 1,000 Caves of Menegoth. The Awakening of Men. Although the trees of the Valar had been destroyed, the Valar Yavanna and Nienna coaxed from their scorched ruins a single flower of silver called a seal, the sheen, and a single fruit of gold called Anor the Fire Golden. That sounds like a seal dog, but I don't know if it's linked. This flower and this fruit were placed in great vessels that became the moon and the sun, which were carried across the skies by Maya spirits. It is said that with the rising of the sun there came the awakening of men in the east land of Hildorian, or Middle-earth. So began the ages of the sun, in which the race of mortal men flourished and spread over all the lands of Middle-earth. The race of men awakened in the rising of the sun. Oh wow. Oh, you can see the people. First age of the sun. First dawn. Ants. Huan of Valinor. Scary looking. Huan was the mightiest wolfhound in Middle-earth. Huan the mighty wolfhound was given to the elf lord Celegorm by the Valar Orome, who was a tireless hunter and never slept. When his master Celegorm of Nargothrond took the princess Luthien captive, Huan was troubled, feeling that a great wrong had been done. He aided Luthien in her escape from Nargothrond and joined her in the quest of the Silmaril. Oh, that's interesting, because he looks quite scary there, but it seems like he did good in the end, I think. I'm not sure if I could be, correct me. Battle of Sudden Flame. Fall of Gondolin. Destruction of Angband. Gothmog the Balrog. Ooh. Gothmog, Lord of Balrogs, was one of the greatest and most terrible of the spirits who came to Ardal with Malkor. He bore a whip of flame and sometimes wielded a great black axe. During the wars of Beleriand, he led armies of Balrogs, orcs and trolls, and laid waste to many lands of elves, dwarves and men. His greatest challenge came when he faced Ecthelion of Gondolin during the terrible sack of the Hidden City. Few could withstand Gothmog, Lord of Balrogs. Wow, he's got like armor and stuff. That's really cool. The Hidden City of Gondolin fell to the might of Morgoth, the Dark Enemy. It reminds me of Gondor a bit, with a long bit there, but without the chop. I'm not going to read everything, I know it's tempting, but you can always look this up on. I think these books are on Google Play anyway, like the digital copies if you want to read them. Cheaper to read than the main copies, I guess. Numenorian Empire in the Second Age. Numenor. Andúnai. Oh, is that like Andúna as in Dunedain, or is that something else? I don't know, maybe. Eldalonde, Armenalos, Romena. At the beginning of the Second Age of the Sun, the Valar is the star-shaped island in the Western Sea. This was Numenor, which became the greatest kingdom of men on Arda. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat, she's eating biscuits. The Numenorians were granted a span of life far greater than ordinary men, and through the centuries their strength and wealth increased, and their navy sailed over all the seas of the mortal world. Numenor, often translated as Westernesse in the language of men, was also called Andor, land of gift, Elenor Nure, land of the star, and Atalante, the downfallen for it was in fact Tolkien's reinvention of the ancient myth of the lost land of Atlantis. Well, that's really interesting. Didn't know that. That's really interesting. Wow. Numenor was the most splendid realm of men, as gorgeous with the fire. Let's just look through, find some pictures and stuff to look at. Black Numenorians. Unwind was a colony of Numenor until it was captured by the men of the South. Dunedain kingdoms in the Third Age. Third Age of the Sun. Dark Tower of Mordor. The dreadful Tower of Barad-dûr loomed over Mordor. By the power of the ruling ring, Sauron made the foundations of Barad-dûr the Dark Tower of Mordor. The last alliance of elves and men laid siege to that tower for 7 years at the end of the Second Age, before finally forcing Sauron into open battle. Though many of the greatest Eldar and Dunedain lords were slain, the alliance was granted victory and the One Ring was cut from Sauron, the Ring Lord's hand. Isildur was, I think he was the one who cut the ring off. For more than 1,000 years, Sauron had no shape and wandered Earth as a powerless shadow. So the what do they call him? The sorcerer or thing in the Hobbit. Yet because the One Ring was not destroyed, Sauron and his tower were not ended. Both he and the tower were to arise in the Third Age, and once again Sauron, the Ring Lord, would seek to dominate the world. I can't remember what they called him in the Hobbit now. Like a sorcerer. Something similar to that. I'll probably think of it in a minute. At the end of the Second Age, Sauron battled with the men of Numenor. Sauron. At first, Sauron was one of the Maya of Aule, but I'm having lots of trouble with that word. But he was soon corrupted by Morgoth, when he became the Dark Lord's chief lieutenant. When Morgoth was cast into the void at the end of the First Age, Sauron returned to Middle-earth, calling himself Anatar, giver of gifts, and appearing to offer friendship to the elves of Eregion and the men of Numenor. He taught the elves the art of making rings of power, but unknown to them, he forged for himself the One Ring, which controlled all the others. Finally, the Numenorians made war on Sauron, and he fought with their leaders before the gates of Barad-dûr. In the Third Age, he took the form of a great lidless eye, ceaseless in his search of the One Ring, which seemingly had been lost forever. But we know it's not. The realm of men, hobbits, elves, dwarves, and dark powers. Gosh, that's a very small word. Zog the Uruk exalts over the body of a fallen dwarf. Battle of Azang, Bizarre. Crest of the lonely mountains. This is Hobbit-esque. Thorin and company approach Hobbiton. That's nice. I guess that's Gandalf. Oh, look, Gollum. I like the way he's portrayed. Gollum lived in a dark cave under the misty mountains. That's where he meets Bilbo and stuff. Forest of Mirkwood. Mirkwood was home to many dreadful creatures. Oh, that's the I think the forest where they get all kind of placed under a sort of spell, don't they, or something. Great spiders, orcs, wolves, and even evil spirits haunted the forest, and the Sylvan elves had not been driven from the realm. They had not been able to halt the spreading darkness. Thereafter, Greenwood was called Mirkwood, and few dared to travel along its dark paths. Mirkwood is among the greatest obstacles standing by the company of Thorin. I can shoot and wrench the lonely mountains. Okay, Smaug. Smaug lived for many years on his sword. Destruction of Lake Town, of course, remember the film as well. Battle of the Five Armies. Good movie as well. It's like probably my favourite of the Hobbit films. The death of Smaug, the dragon of Lonely Mountain, freed the treasure of the dragon's hoard from its guardian. The dwarves of Thorin Oakenshield were soon joined by an army of men from Lake Town, the army of the Elf King of Mirkwood, and the army of dwarves from the Iron Hills. Yet another army, greater in number than the other four together, spilled into the valley under Lonely Mountain. It was led by a vast number of heinous orcs from the Misty Mountains, and they too came to claim the dragon's wealth. Orcs by the thousand, wolves and wolf riders, clouds of blood-sucking bats fell on the gathered army. Eagles. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh wow. Battle of the Five Armies was a bloody and chaotic affair. Wow. Beautiful. The eagles are coming. Everyone loves eagles. Quest of the Ring, obviously everyone knows. Riders. The Shire. The green and pleasant lands of the Shire had been the homeland of the hobbits since the 17th century of the Third Age of the Sun. Here lived Bilbo Baggins, who joined the quest of Lonely Mountain, and on that adventure acquired a magic ring. This chance discovery drew Bilbo, his heir Frodo Baggins, and all the hobbits of the Shire into the greatest drama of that age. So it was the meekest and least of all peoples came to hold the fate of the world in their hands. That's interesting. I wonder what that's supposed to be. Gold Forest of Lothlorien. From Mallow on trees of Lothlorien shone of gold. Oh wow, that's the part I remember in the movie, the big stone. Pillars of the kings towered over the river Anduin. Morgan of the gates of Gondor. The golden hall of the Rohirrim was a place of feasting and Gandalf. Oh no, Saruman, sorry. It was Gandalf. Saruman the White was at first leader of the Istari. Kaluma, one of the Mire of Aiuli, was the leader of the Istari, the 5 wizards sent from the Undying Lands to aid the people of Middle-earth. Known as Saruman the White to men, he was wise and learned, but became so proud that he sought to find the One Ring and wield it himself. Renaming himself Saruman of Many Colours, he commanded armies of orcs and men from the stronghold of Isengard. The dead marshes that always scared me, the movie. Gollum leads Frodo and Sam through the foul-smelling maze of the marshes. He looks really skinny, like more skinny than the window of the sunset. That's a beautiful picture. I think for the rest of the video I'll just flick through the pages silently with stopping at pictures and stuff I see. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Really appreciate you watching, and don't forget to like and sub and stuff if you want to see more of these types of videos. Leave a comment.